Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. Yeah, it's lit in the Chop Shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based in debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30. Let's do a first take on Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks going back and forth like Carter Ray and Skip Bayless and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal to the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket, put you in the casket when I'm overlapping, never showing mercy.
H-Town, what's up? Chris, you want to bring us in? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks and Chris Walker, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, and parts unknown. I don't know. I'm going to let Chris tell you where he is. But guess what?
I'm in my skin. I'm
in
in
your skin. I like that. But Chris, I got something for you and Jimmy before y'all crank it up, because y'all was about to get cranked up before the show and our pre-production meeting. But I got something for y'all. I was thinking about sports can suck sometimes, man. It was brutal what I saw last night, man. If you're a Dodger fan, you're gonna be like, Jimmy's favorite word, really? That way of really? Now, but if you're a human being, Chris, there's part of me last night that kind of empathized with him. I didn't know if I need to laugh. I didn't know if I need to cry. I just knew we should just lift Clayton Kershaw up in prayer today, Jimmy. From this point, I'm just talking because, and I'm just telling you, in the Cardinals, Jimmy. The Cardinals, I know y'all gonna talk about this, but I just got to get my little 2 cents in. The Cardinals just decided they're gonna take all the drama out of the game. They did something that had never been done in baseball history before. And baseball been around a long time, Chris Walker. Did you see what happened? Now y'all can go, huh?
They did what I do to Jimmy the first half of the NFL games on Sunday. Beat the snot out of them. That's what they do. They beat the snot out. Listen, think about it. They scored 10 runs in the first inning. The game was over. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a typo. And then did you hear what the coach said after the game? The cuss lace post-game speech? We beat the S out of them. If whoever we meet, we're going to F them up. Did you see it? You got to see it. It was on Instagram. It was crazy.
What coach said that?
The coach from the Cardinals. Whoever's in our way, we going to F them up. I'm like, God dang.
But Jimmy, then I found out both of these guys don't really have no good records. And the Cardinals get the home court advantage, and these guys don't even have good records. This stuff I went crazy about baseball last night.
Playoff baseball, man.
Yeah, it jumped on them with 10 runs in the first inning, and you guys understand, it's 2 teams won yesterday on the road in an elimination game. And, one took extra innings, and that was the Washington Nationals, which is their first time making it to the divisional championship in the American League since moving to Washington. That was gutsy. Grand slam in the 10th inning, they won. But as far as the Cardinals, the thing about it, I've been to the St. Louis, the Busch Stadium that the Cardinals have downtown St. Louis.
Beautiful.
And I've been to the Atlanta's brand new stadium. The stadium used to be on the way from the airport. They moved it to the other side of town.
Way on the other side of town.
I've been to that one twice. They have, and both they both resemble each other as a very comfortable atmosphere for people to watch a game because they have all type of bars around it, and I mean bars, restaurants.
That's
and
an understatement.
it's an experience. You're not
That's-
just going to go there and go to the game. You're going to stop somewhere else, either walk into the park
You
on the way.
talking about the Braves thing?
The both,
Yeah, the Braves.
St.
Both
Louis
of them.
is the same
Both
way.
of them. Both of
The
them.
Braves joint is nice. It's not
The
near
Braves-
Atlanta, but it's
No,
nice. though.
the Braves joint is nice. St. Louis's joint is indoors. How about that? All of those restaurants and everything and bars and stuff is 2 levels, but it's all indoors. That means if it's cold outside, it don't matter. They still can party all the same. A big stage with a band performs indoors, and I mean it's a great atmosphere. But these Cardinals, I'm glad that the Houston Astros is not in the National League anymore. We don't have to worry about the curse of.
They got to win the night, player. They got to play against the Tampa Bay Bombers tonight, man.
Well,
Man.
They got to win the night.
So you know what's so funny? And I thought about it overnight. As all New York Yankee fans, because of the fact that it was 1 year ago when Game 7, when the Astros blanked them 4-0 to advance to the World Series before taking out the Dodgers in 7 games to win it all. About 2 years ago that I'm talking about. Well, Yankees fans are rooting against the Astros. You know why? Because you don't want. To me, you should want the Astros to win. You should want to prove and get some redemption. But I understand you don't want them to win, and that's
Whoa, that's not true.
Guess what,
I'm a Houstonian at heart. What are you talking about?
dude,
I'm from H-Town.
Chris, you have 2 hearts.
Oh, wow.
2 hearts.
Wow.
2 hearts. We're gonna take
Hey,
you
man.
to Ringling Brothers in Barnum Bay. We can get some bread off you.
Listen, man, we need to talk about what the bet gonna be if they don't get it done tonight, because it's trending that, and we need to go back to the Washington National game.
I got the perfect bet.
Well, hold that to the end of the chop shop. Hold that to the end of the show.
I got the perfect bet.
Put them on their seats. But let's talk about the story inside the story, because we were talking about the thread. They got rid of Bryce Harper.
Yes.
He chose to go to the field,
Phillies.
Yeah.
right? And they won without him. And what does it teach us? I'm gonna talk about a coaching deal here, a coaching lesson or a management lesson. When these prima donna players, y'all know where I'm going with this. When you think you gotta they try to leverage the franchise, take all the money, right? Because you think you need them. It always happens this way, Jimmy. I always tell coaches this. Here you are, you're doing everything you can to make this player happy. That player gets hurt. You think you can't win without him. That player gets hurt, and when you know he's detrimental to the team, and the team wins without him. I've seen it 100 times.
Yeah.
Decisions that coaches, if you told the Washington Nationals to get rid of Bryce Harper, they would have never done it. They moved his ass to Philadelphia, and look what happened. They've gone farther than they've gone before. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
That's the way sports work, because the guys that you think you need the most. Now that don't apply to that, because I'm a bronsexual. That don't apply to number 23 in LA. Now we gotta hold this. We gotta pump the brakes when they come to number 23 in LA. But other than him, trust me, man, no one's indispensable, man.
Well, I know one thing for certain, and that's talking about the National. They are the story, and I know that I said last night. We talking guys, and normally nominal fans will root for the story if you don't have a dog in the fight. People in Houston didn't have a dog in the fight for the Dodgers and the Nationals. Now the thing was, the Dodgers, if they were clicking on all cylinders, was a very scary team, very scary team. I was like, man, and you see in a matter of innings, they melted like butter in the skillet. The Nationals are playing ball. Tampa Bay Devil Rays are playing ball. These 2 teams, man, guess what?
Rays, man, stop calling them the Devil Rays.
They changed the name. They took the devil out of them a couple of years ago, but the Tampa Bay Rays are playing ball. The thing is, it's the Astros. Put it like this. You're at home. If Garrett Cole wins this game, he may bump Verlander out of the MVP, the Cy Young of the American League. Easy.
Say it ain't so. Say it ain't
No,
so.
no, rightfully so. Let me tell you why. In game 2, Cole pitched. Remember, Cole struck out 15 guys, tied a franchise or set a franchise record for the most strikeouts in a postseason game. I mean, from the Houston Astros, that is. I think the record is 17. He had 15, tied with about 3 others. Now, here's the thing about the Astros, bottom line. And how to trust me, the atmosphere in H-Town is going to be electric. This game is about a 6 o'clock first pitch tip-off tonight. When I say tip-off, I meant first pitch should be going about 5 or 6 minutes after 6 o'clock Central Time.
What time you gonna be crying by? That's what I want to know.
Here's the thing about that. See, Astros, it's two players. That's all. It's 2 players that has to come through tonight. That's George Springer and Michael Bradley. Bradley and Springer, they both are like 4 for 33 this series.
Oh, okay.
Springer leads the league in leadoff home runs. But at the same time, this Tampa Bay pitching staff is so doggone good. They led the league in strikeouts this year. The Astros led the league in fewest strikeouts for us batters this year. So once again, we get the postseason. We learned this stuff back when the Atlanta Braves were playing, were dominating their dynasty with Glavine, Smoltz, Maddox, and all those guys. Well, in baseball, good pitching normally tames, great pitching normally tames great hitting. The Astros, we set franchise record this year for home runs, right? Remember, I said a while ago, no team struck out fewer times in the regular season than the Houston Astros.
Playoffs, baby.
In this series, but at the same time, no pitching staff in baseball struck out more batters than Tampa Bay. So what's happening right now is our hitting is getting trumped. Our ace of spade is getting beat by a low joker. So we got to look in the deck tonight and find a high joker to go and trump and take that book. My partner got to play his high joker on that low joker.
Listen, man.
My ace. And that's what we got tonight. We got Garrett Cole on the mound tonight.
Listen,
and I'm
man.
feeling good about that.
Tampa Bay playing with house money tonight, man. If they go there and they lose, hold on. If they go there and they lose, people are going to say, man, they played the best team in baseball they were supposed to lose. If they go there and win, everybody's saying unbelievable. They got nothing to lose, man. They got to go there, let their bats hang out, and just swing for the fence like you used to do. You used to strike out at Smokey Jasper every single time. Anyway, let's keep it moving, man. We'll talk about the bet at the end of it.
You guys once again remind you, about 6:05, first pitch tonight. Garrett Cole on the mound, and of course Tampa Bay has Glasnow. He's back on the mound for them, and this do or die. I just hope like hell that we don't duplicate the Atlanta Braves giving up 10 runs in the first inning at home. Let me tell you something. The city would not be able to recover from that type of meltdown. And so, but what would you rather, Chris? You're a coach. Would you rather get the brakes beat off you, or would you rather get beat by a grand slam in extra innings like the Dodgers did? Which one would you rather happen?
Losing is losing. That's all I got to say. I'd rather win by negative point whatever. Losing is losing. Whether it's a blowout or whether it's by 1, losing is losing. All you're doing is just scaving off the inevitable. Anyway, hey, man, listen, fellas. Yeah. I've been getting a whole lot of heat, Hatter.
I heard.
Jimmy, I've been getting a lot of heat about this China thing, man.
Really?
Like, we really have struck some nerves. And the funny thing is, Jimmy,
struck some nerves.
And the funny thing is, it's unusual on this show, Hatter, but everybody's on Jimmy's side. That's like the most it's like seeing the Easter Bunny. That's the craziest thing in the world.
That's when you know they're wrong.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I had somebody call me and went Hatter on me today. Just coming at my head so hard. I'm like, listen, man, we have a right to agree to disagree.
Oh my God.
But dudes are losing their mind. I just asked one question. Everybody get mad at me. I said, Daryl Morey's tweeted, I stand with Hong Kong. Have anybody ever tweeted, I stand with Daryl Morey? Have we seen that tweet yet, Heather?
Nope.
Okay, I'm just curious, man. My bad. I'm gonna leave it at that because Anthony Weston, Derek Johnson, they all gonna start jumping on me. Erskine McDaniel, they gonna start jumping on me, and we can put 5 million scenarios out there, and we're still gonna agree to disagree. But one thing I do want to talk about, I know they're going to jump on me, so I'm going to move topics real quick. Jimmy, you frolically challenged just like me. But what's going on at Penn State with the letter that was written by the alumni, by the alum, did you hear about the letter from Penn State? Boom, boom, y'all do what y'all need to do with it. Hatter, what do you think about them saying the kid needs to cut his hair and he's not representative of Penn State basketball players? Football players.
First, it was an alumni who appeared to me to be a butthole. Wrote a nice letter. Nicely formed and letterhead and all that on there. But he's a clown. That's just the way he feels. Didn't you say just a minute ago, and your voices just a minute ago, you said something very key. You said we ought to be able to agree to disagree. Guess what? I disagree with what he says about a young man. And then the Coach Franklin, I think I got a video of him, but we running so many programs now because his Skype take up so much room. I might can't run it, but Franklin says some kid. He talked about the kid being a Dean's List kid, a kid that even if his daughter, if he's the kind of guy, his daughter, he would want his daughter to marry.
No. He said that.
But yeah, he said that. I got the video. Just go look up. What's his name? Franklin, Penn State coach Franklin. A great interview. He talked about the kid and the kid's accomplishments, and then he made a reference to all people. It don't matter. He said he's follically challenged. He said my hair is like this. Don't nobody get mad at me because I ain't got no hair. He said so if a person can wear his hair the way he wanted to. I was so proud of Coach Franklin from Penn State. I know you have some negative to say about every coach now. So no. You the coach killer. So, but it's okay. It's okay. You the coach killer, but I just
I'm not a coach killer. What are you talking about?
Oh, you're tear coach up. So
we just had a situation at University of Arkansas Fort Smith where this dude basically told a kid he could not be on his team because of his hair, and he was allowed to keep his job. Did that not happen, Jimmy?
Yeah. It happened.
And given and allowed to coach with you to speak at the USA basketball camp.
But Jimmy, the difference in this, Chris, that's not a fair comparison. Chris, Jimmy, you notice how I'm talking low today. Chris, I am so appalled with you and your sorry comparison. You comparing a college coach. This wasn't a college coach. This was a fan. There was a fan. Fan is the root word for fanatic. And fanatics do fanatical things. So this guy, he just wrote a letter that ain't nobody paying no attention because this boy is not going to cut his hair. The coach supports the young man. So guess what? How can you compare those two things, Chris? I'm appalled at you right now. I'm appalled.
First of all, why are you appalled at me? Because you brought this up, about the Fab Five and how they were the bald heads, the long socks,
yes,
the long shorts, the black socks, and black shoes, right?
Yeah, right.
And did you see the documentary on the Fab Five and how all the Michigan alums went nuts and killed these dudes?
Okay.
You remember that?
Okay.
So my thing is, Steve Fisher was the coach back then, right? Mm-hmm. The question is, and Steve Fisher, and I'll give it to Steve Fisher, he supported them. He did support them, but it was something, again, the minute we try to inflict our culture into a situation, and albeit, let's get something straight. Football is very different than basketball. In football, you watch the NFL, they got crazy hair. Those guys got all kind of hair. Especially, I don't even want to say what's indigenous to what states.
There you go, making these crazy comparisons.
Football players do wear their hair. They tend to wear the long hair, the dreadlocks. You don't see a lot of that in basketball. You see a lot of that in football. You see LeBron trying to keep his little hairline.
LeBron ain't got no hair.
I got to get that stuff LeBron got, man. Like, LeBron got that good stuff, man.
LeBron got that. He got that.
He got that Becky. Got the good hair. He got that Becky stuff.
got that car on.
But my point is that Anthony Weston, you know what? People say I'm the most negative dude on the. Anthony Weston got to be the most negative dude.
Oh my God,
Period.
he's
I'm calling him out.
You know who I
call him out. He's the most negative dude. This what Anthony Weston.
I
said.
have
I'm
never
love right now.
No. I love Anthony Weston. Because guess what? I love his viewpoints. But guess what about Anthony Weston? He's like Grinch. You know, like everybody is happy about Christmas. And he's sitting up at the top of the hill like, what can I do to steal Christmas? I mean, I've never seen a person like, and maybe that's just his alter ego, because in person, I've met him. He's one of the most delightful men in the world. But when he gets on this thing, he do his Daryl Morey. And that's what I've been trying to tell everybody. And guess what I figured out, Chris? Mr. Twitter fingers over there himself, that guy in the middle of the screen, I see why. I had to go back. I said, why is Jimmy so defiant? Why is he so defiant about this tweeting thing? Because Jimmy will get reckless. Let him get home and something get to happen. Jimmy will run off about 10 tweets in a row. I said, dude, what the hell was wrong with you last night?
Jimmy's a TGW, a tweeter going wild?
No. His name Jimmy Morey. That's Jimmy Morey.
Jimmy Morey. Yeah. Oh, okay, my bad.
That's JM for sure.
Now, Jimmy Silver.
No. Oh, you want to be the ball? Okay, but no, Jimmy Silver
apologized. That was Alan Silver said. That's the thing. See, that's the thing that's lost in this, and it's funny as hell because people selectively attack whom they wish to. Daryl Morey has long apologized with a lengthy, sincere apology to save his ass and his job. I understand. However, he did that immediately. It doesn't like it was 4 days later. He apologized. So out of this,
I think Tillman told him to apologize because Tillman came with it.
No matter whatever the reason, whoever told him, he done it to save his job and to save his ass. But at the same time, he did it a while back. He did it so long ago, so many days ago, people forgot he apologized. Still, it was the NBA's stance that intensified the reaction from the Chinese people and the government and the businesses alike towards the Houston Rockets or the NBA. And that's the thing where we at. And so what's happening is people saying, of course, Daryl Morey is the scapegoat. And I've had several, and I'm amazed. I've received several text messages because there are a lot of college coaches that watch the Chop Shop and that are watching right now. A lot of you, and the way that this thing works, so that you guys understand in the Boom Boom Room, is that just because you don't see their name, just because the count may not, that is a fraction of the people who are watching. So guys, trust me, some of you guys that are watching right now, we know you're watching. We're not going to out you and tell the folks that you're watching because some of these people don't want you guys to know that they're supposed to be working in there on the Chop Shop, enjoying it. Understand that because it's a way you can be on Facebook watching us, and if you don't type anything, then you can be invisible to the rest of the Boom Boom Room. We all know that. But so I get a lot of calls yesterday, a lot of text messages yesterday, and you guys know Wednesday's date night. Me and Sandy, we try to enjoy a good supper.
They were chopping you up, weren't they? That's what they were doing. They were chopping you up.
One got me real kind of cool.
Okay. What'd he say?
He said, "Did y'all? I missed the end of it. Did y'all really get into the conversation today about?" I say, "Yeah." I say, well, what was the stance? I say, well, we had 3 different stances. He said, what was it? I say, I was pro freedom of speech and didn't have no problem with it. Just understand the consequences that come with it. Hatter was on the opposite end, and Chris tried to straddle the bases on it, but he was leaning.
Oh my God!
He said. So then the guy. So that was a text message. So then the college coach, this D1 coach, he said, "The hell with that." He called me. He said he went crazy. He said Daryl Morey ass gonna get fired. I said, how sure are you about that? He said,
I
I'm
know.
1,000%. I said, so I let him go off, and I said, well, tell me this. What if he don't get fired? Well, if he don't get fired, and they're gonna lose this and that, and I say, okay, well, still, if he don't get fired, he possibly could get fired.
He's not getting fired.
But
He's
if he
not getting
does,
fired.
see, here's the thing: him getting fired is not going to be the issue that's going to solve that. So why even fire him now? If that came down to it, trust me now, Daryl Morey is not worth $20 million to Tillman Fertitta. Maybe he is. Maybe he got some other stuff going on with him and helping him with other business.
So let me ask you a question. Somebody posed a question to me. What about in the 30s and the 40s? I don't we would get upset. In the 20s, 30s, and 40s, we know we had the race issue here, 50s and 60s as well. And someone visited our country from another place that was doing a lot of business here and remarked about the way blacks were being treated. And what would America's stance be towards that company? If a higher up in that company said, I can't believe they're treating black people that way, right? What do you think the U.S. would do? Do you think we would fire back and try to hurt them financially or what, Jimmy? Because that's the law of the land here. Whether people think it was right or wrong, we could talk democracy. That was the law of the land, the way they treated blacks in America.
Right.
So
right.
what do you think the United States response would be to them? They would try to hurt them economically, right or wrong, Jimmy?
Yes, and that's what they're
So that's what China's doing. So why are we all up in arms? I don't get it.
No, we up in arms. Here's the thing. I'm up in arms because of the fact that, and I'm just telling people just pay attention. I'm good with the NBA. When the NBA made their statement, I was good with that. I'm solid with that. I don't have a problem with that. Now it's on the NBA now to help solve it. That's why Adam Silver got on the plane yesterday and darted over to Shanghai to try to meet with Yao Ming and get some stuff ironed out. They did play the game this morning between the Nets and the Lakers. That game took place as scheduled. However, there was some restrictions that were placed on that game before tip-off. One being the media. There was no media availability, right, of any kind from either of the teams. And the Adam Silver's annual pregame news conference. Well, it's not. It is an annual because he gives it each time he's one of those international games of such, or games on international soil. That was canceled, right? Now they had about 16,000 people that came to the thing. That's what the facility held. Right outside the door, everybody who came in was given a Chinese flag, a miniature flag. And so that means you came in and they want you to wait, I guess, hold that flag and wave that flag. That would make the optics would be grand. Now, some people didn't have to take that flag, but they was giving them out for free. And that's one of the things that I think I think I mentioned yesterday. There's a young man in Los Angeles, a company who went on Facebook. I mean, not Facebook, went on social media on GoFundMe and solicited donations to make T-shirts to give out when on opening night when the Lakers play the Clippers. And those shirts would say, would basically be I don't remember.
I stand with Hong Kong. I stand with Hong Kong. I
stand with Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Now, the same type of thing. So this was allowed in China, which they're protecting their turf and they're making a visible stance. It's going to be now what the NBA is going to do. And how you can explain, because there are other sanctions that are being proposed or being threatened by the Chinese government versus against the NBA. And one of the things would be the salary cap, which would once again would be a Scud missile towards the NBA. And
let me say that before we had a comment, hold that thought, Hatter. Didn't they escort some people out last night on Jimmy's point about wearing those shirts at a couple of games?
That was in America. That was in America.
In America. Now think about it. In America, it ain't right. China now. In America, we're telling people they can't. That's what's funny to me, guys. Go on, Hatter.
In fact, Jimmy, what it is, it's proposed all the salary cap guys, everybody in the league got a salary cap guru on their team. And what they're you got to realize the money that comes in from China, which is a big market, is basketball related income, BRI. And that all factors in to how much the split between the players and the owners. Okay, that's basketball related income. So if China pulls out in a lot of endorsements like Anta and Li Ning, those companies, if they pull out of their endorsement and what they give to what they pay in NBA, guess what happens? That reduces their basketball related income. So if that's reduced, get the salary cap, because the salary cap is dictated by the basketball related income. So that's what it ain't that China don't say NBA. I'm not. If they withhold, if they don't support the NBA anymore, if they stop doing stuff with the NBA is going to suffer because we've invested a lot of money in that market to get money out of that market. So that's really the reason. It's a big thing. See, what they're trying to do is they're trying to forecast for the future. Because you got to realize when I sign a Kevin Durant, when I sign a Chris Paul to those 4-year deals, I got to know that big salary will fit with the rest of my players in those 4 years. So you have to forecast out at least 4 or 5 years. So those are the numbers, guys, right now, just forecasting the impact, the economic impact that a tweet, all you tweet protectors, that a tweet can cause. The economic impact. I'm sitting here thinking about the tweet that Nessa tweeted out when Colin Kaepernick was trying to get with the Baltimore Ravens. She tweeted and had a picture of Steve Bisciotti and Ray Lewis, depicting them as Django and Steven. Your tweets have consequences. And that's what and I know, I wasn't on the other side, Jimmy. I was just saying, man, everybody talking about this freedom of speech, but that's over here. Jimmy, over there, think about this. And y'all forgot about it, I know it, I'm going to bring it to your remembrance. When LiAngelo Ball got caught up over in China. And it was crazy. Y'all saw, that's just for stealing some shades. It's a young man named Wendell Moore, I think. I don't know his last name. A young man from Ball State, a linebacker from Ball State. Jimmy, he was in a nightclub and got into an altercation at a nightclub. And guess what? He spent 3 years he just got out this year. He spent 3 years in China. China, y'all realize, is an authoritative government. The government rule. Over here, the people are supposed to rule. But that dude out there at 45, he's trying to change that. So always remember, when Yao Ming, don't get mad at Yao Ming. Yao Ming had to give up portions of his salary when he played. Go back and look at it. He owed a portion of his salary, I think half of it, to the government over there when he played for the Rockets. So guess what? He knows what's going on over there. So what I've learned from us, and I'm going to let y'all interject, what I've learned is we can't enforce our rules and our beliefs over there. Cyril White said something, he texted me yesterday and said, Robert, what if an executive from China had a code over here telling, when the Amber Geiger trial was over, saying, good job, I'm glad y'all didn't give her 10 years. She didn't need no 20 years. I'm glad y'all didn't give her. Y'all would have, especially the black folks, y'all would have said, what the hell is he worried about what's happening over here? That's how they feel. They feel, what the heck is Daryl Morey worried about what's happening over here in our time? Sometimes we bring it home. So y'all can come in on that if y'all want to.
I mean, we're gonna we can agree to disagree, and I mean, we've talked about this subject. It's good dialogue, and the Boomer Room's done a great job. But for some reason, this conversation has shifted to talk. I don't know why, Hatter. I don't know if Hatter started this or Jimmy started this with that TSU homecoming talk. But Anthony Weston, as he always does, the animus on the Boomer Room, is talking about this HBCU versus Power 5 thing. Which one would you send your kid to, Hatter? And I posed a question, and he still hasn't answered it. If you had a high-level kid, man up and woman up on the Boom Boom Room, and he has the chance to play for Nick Saban in Alabama or Alabama A&M, which one are you sending him to? Hatter, why are we having this discussion? I mean, I posed to the Boomer Room, but Jimmy, which one are you sending him to? I'm going to put Jimmy on the spot since he say there's no sacrifice, because Jimmy low-key responded to people with the Che Rivera. Yeah, he's doing that Che Rivera stuff right now.
No, Jimmy has answered this question. Jimmy has answered this question. He said he going with the money. He going with the money.
Oh, he going to Alabama? Jimmy going to send his kid to Alabama. Jimmy, hold up.
That's exactly.
Your kid to Alabama?
No, if Alabama A&M got some bread and they got the bag too, I'm going with the comfortability.
I say he going with the money. He going with the money.
Yeah.
So you're saying if your son could get money from Alabama A&M, you're never going to send him to Nick Saban?
No.
Jimmy, please. Jimmy, please. I want to say it in other words. Jimmy, please.
Understand something. There are certain players, and your example was a top shelf 5-star athlete.
Okay, that's what we're saying. Because that's
the scenario. We're saying nothing to do with the 3 stars and the Joe Blows and the marginal players. We're talking about a 5-star athlete, and we're talking about a football player right now. Where would he go?
Where would your son go?
If I'm from that state and the resources are available to take care of him, just say if we were in if the California Fair Pay to Play Act was in place right now in Texas, then I would definitely consider one of the HBCUs that had a program in place that would not just any for the hell of it, but if the program was in very good shape economically already.
All right.
And they're winning.
So you're telling me if you had a son or a nephew right now in TSU, let's say they were doing decent, and then the University of Texas or Jimbo Fisher for Texas A&M was recruiting them, you would send I want to know, first of all, what parent did that, number one, right? That's ever done that. And you telling me you would do it?
I just told you, if A plus B equals C, you know what I'm saying? So I understand. If everything was in place, and like I just said, then yes.
Hatter, what's your favorite saying? If my auntie was my what?
If my auntie had a beard, but I don't want to say beard, I just don't. She'd be my uncle. That's all I'm gonna say.
let me explain something to you. For example, we had a situation, and that almost opened the door up for that. Almost. And I'm gonna tell you why. And the curl back and the fire. You have a little firecracker, Chris, and when you were little, and it popped before you can throw it out of your hand. The firecracker popped before they can get it out the hand, meaning that Derek Griffin, the situation was ripe for him to excel big time at TSU.
I knew you were gonna go there. That's your.
I mean, seriously. No. I said the situation and opportunity. It was so ripe for him to excel at 2 sports. However, the person, and one day sooner when this stuff over, that's why I wish so many of these young people would or so many people of influence would let the young people come back like Brandon Johnson did 2 weeks ago and gave his testimony that helped. And I got a flood of texts and emails after that. People were praising Brandon Johnson. People were like, man, I like that young man. So here's what Derek Griffin did. He basically declared battle, or was not war, but battle against his head coach. The head coach got fired. The athletic director sided and basically let that head coach go. Got another head coach in, and I got another head coach in. Sorry about that, guys.
That's China. That's China getting on you right there.
And another head coach came in, and at that point, Derek Griffin started to sour on that head coach. Now, if he would have followed the script, and then they go and had an NFL pro day, knowing he was injured, who in the hell, knowing he was injured, he had an NFL pro day, and he laid, from what I understand, the closest thing to a goose egg that you can lay at a pro day. He laid it. He couldn't even run the routes properly. And so that means the timing, didn't want to run a 40, was reluctant to run a 40 on that day because he knew he couldn't get no traction up and down. So my point is, that situation, Derek Griffin was a 5-star athlete. Maybe 4 or 5-star. He was an Under Armour All-American. Then in 2-sport star at Rosenberg Terry High School. Won a state championship in basketball, and in the senior year was MVP of the state championship basketball game. Was extreme 6'6", 7", and can touch the top of the square. A freaky athlete. If Derek Griffin would have made it through, and understand something, a lot of our players, once they get to a certain level, once they get that bag, and wherever you come from, you're not used to that bag, trust me, a hole is going to form at the bottom of that bag, and the bread gonna go out.
Maybe because he went to a place where he was not pushed, where he didn't have competition, right? Because if he had gone some of these other places, it would have been a lot different, Jimmy. Just like a lot of these kids at Alabama find out, when you're a 5-star and you go up to Alabama, you're a no-star when you walk through that door. So at the end of the day, that's the other part that people don't understand. When you can't be the lone wolf. When you go to places like Texas and A&M and LSU, man, are you serious? They all 5-stars. It's a different deal. It's a different deal.
So the opportunity is not the same because if you're a 5-star, 4 or 5-star, and you're going into a program where pretty much the vast majority of the scholarship players are 4 and 5 or equal and compatible, then guess what? The opportunity is harder to pave itself.
I got a question. I got a question. Did something happen recently for us to talk about this? Rehash it. Did something happen recently?
The Boom Boom Room was on it for some reason. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, the Boom Boom Room was on it tough, and we go back to the Boom Boom Room.
No, I just wanted to know because I've been hearing because and Fob made a great. Stacy made a great one too. Gracie said, "Yeah, HBCUs are good, but just not for them top 5-star athletes. They only good.
They only good for the penny stars. What you saying?
They're good.
But you know what? You know what though? And in today's, I know things change, and that's the thing. A lot of people want it to go back to the good old days, and that's what the good days were good for them and for a lot of people. But the truth of the matter is, times have changed, man, and a lot of that stuff sounds good. Put it like this: the economics, people want comfortability, and there aren't many. Sure. You can pick out a Grambling versus Prairie View at the Cotton Bowl last week, or you can pick out certain type of games selectively and where it's going to be a packed house. But that's not every week. It's not every week. In HBCU football or basketball, for that matter, the revenue generating sports, it's not every. So some people want that atmosphere where they can go and engage in a tailgate as a parent. And the kid can go and get the lead up to them. And they have various radio stations interviewing the kids, and they're a big man on campus, and they have the opportunity. It just feels better wearing that type of jacket. I understand that. But if we, first of all, want it to happen, Alcorn right now is the measuring stick for football in the SWAC. Alcorn, for the past half decade, they've been pretty much running things. Southern has came in a time or two, but Alcorn has been the team to beat in the SWAC for the most part of the last decade. So guess what? Alcorn is in Lorman, Mississippi. Right? Have you ever been to Lorman, Mississippi?
I have.
Is that in the U.S.?
I have.
How you been there before? I've been
My
there
phone,
before.
my phone didn't even used to work back down. You know, I was trying to recruit Steve McNair. So I was down there back then, right? And my phone, I guess it's better service now. But Jimmy, I forgot what airport I flew into and had to drive over there. I mean, it ain't nothing in that town. That's unbelievable.
Man,
And it might be better now. That's, 15 years ago. I haven't been there in a long time. Huh?
Hey, I got to say something from the Boom Boom Room. First of all, I got to go with Jimmy because Jimmy, Bob, he always on our head. He say, "What the hell are you talking about, Hicks?" But more importantly, Michael Jordan says, "What HBCU is going to put on the show featuring Snoop Dogg and strippers to entertain recruits?" Man, the Boom Boom Room out of pocket.
No, but he got a point.
Bob said, "What am I talking about Alcorn?
I don't know. He said, "What the hell?" He said, "W2H are you talking about?" Hicks?
Alcorn has been kicking butt in the SWAC pretty much for the most of the past 5 years. What do you mean? That's what I said. So, I mean, don't get it. They've lost games, but they've been dominating the SWAC for the bulk of no team has won more SWAC games in the past 5 years than Alcorn in football. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying that if you're a 4 or 5 star athlete, and we're saying if they were going to go to one out of high school, Alcorn would be the program I say that has the best stability and has the winning atmosphere, and it wouldn't be so much of an experiment. Now, I don't know how many of the Alcorn players have went pro in the past 5 years. I'm not sure about. I don't have those numbers in front of me. But I would think you would have to pick and choose. You can't just go and say, let's send 1 5-star to TSU, 1 to Prairie View, 1 to Southern. Know what happens then? They become real regular. As the quarterback at TSU right now, he was at Florida State. He was second string in Florida State. He gets to TSU, he's real regular. You know why? Because he don't have the second string Florida State wide receiver to throw to. He don't have the second string wide receiver from Alabama that transferred. He don't have that. That's the same blueprint that you see in SWAC basketball. Take that so you follow me, so you say, what the hell am I talking about? Look in basketball at TSU. When Mike Davis started the trend, a lot of people was against Mike Davis when he first came in because he would not recruit the city. But Mike Davis stood on his own plank and said,
"But Jimmy,
I ain't gonna win this conference with no damn high school players."
But Mike Davis can also go to the NCAA tournament because he's getting better players and he can win in the SWAC. The question, and he can go to the NCAA tournament. Where are the guys in the SWAC going to go? That's the carrot for Mike Davis doing that, is to get to the tournament. Where's that carrot for the football players? They can't get to no big bowl game or big font. They can't get there. I get what you're saying. They'll beat up on Alcorn State, which I don't understand how TSU, the largest HBCU, don't have better players than Alcorn State. That doesn't. I can't understand that. I can't fathom that. I don't get it. Houston transfers, Texas transfers, A&M transfers, Baylor transfers, Texas Tech transfers. They should have the best program in the country as far as HBCUs. I don't get that.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
But in basketball, that formula is working. That's what I'm saying. I don't get why it's not working in football. But in basketball, that formula of getting the transfers from those Power 5 conferences and you taking them and winning, that's what's happening at TSU. And TSU has been the measuring stick of the SWAC in basketball for the past 7 years. No basketball team in the SWAC has won more than in conference play than TSU over the past 7 years. So
I got you.
If that same formula is working for basketball, then guess what? A similar formula, not the same, but a similar formula is working in baseball. TSU was one of the in baseball over the past decade have been one of the teams to beat. You know why? Because they always recruited differently. They went down and recruited from South Texas, the Dominicans, from the islands, and they got them. Remember how we went to the game? How did you look at the game? We saw. What What'd you say, Chris?
There was not one black kid on the team.
They had a couple of black kids, but it wasn't. They might have more white kids than black kids.
Mm-hmm.
But that's smart. But that's smart on their part, though. That's smart on their part because they give full. Well, baseball don't give full scholarships, but they may at TSU. I don't know what the head count is. Hey guys, I want to pivot from the football thing, and Hatter, maybe you can help me out with this. You know me, I love to talk about stuff where pro athletes can influence high school kids.
Okay.
Travis Kelce pushing Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator of the Chiefs.
He got to be out of his rabbit mind.
Troy Bieniemy is a listener on this show. That's his cousin. I want to say it's his cousin. What do you think about that? Oh my God!
Well, he is out of his rabbit mind. I mean, but it happens. I'm telling you, that cat. I don't know what Eric did to him. I don't know what he did to Eric, but it happened. I mean, Chris,
he missed the pass. They say he missed the pass, and he said you should have caught that ball. It was one of those situations where I think he told Travis should have caught the ball. He said they're friends. I mean, they've made amends. He said the right thing, but the reason why I'm picking up on it is because I remember you saying about the Jalen Ramsey thing that the coach should not have walked over and talked to the player. The question I want to pose is, at what point is the player out of bounds? You said the coach was out of bounds. At what point is the player out of bounds?
I didn't see it, Chris. I saw that video. I didn't see this video. I can't say. Did you see the video? Did they play a video of it? No,
I did not.
They did not. So that's what I'm just talking about. I know the head coach. See, you keep Jimmy. He just want to be. You just want to be a provocateur. Coach, think about what you just said.
He pushed the coach.
Okay, but did you see it? Was it a visual?
He admitted to it. Travis Kelce admitted to pushing him.
But did you see
it? He admitted to doing it.
Hey, Ray Rice was all right until we saw that video.
Okay, I'm gonna say it again. He admitted to doing it. He did not deny it.
But it could have been. What kind of push was it? I don't know. Troy, could you tell me? Why don't we have video of it? Millions of cameras. Why don't we have a video?
I'm sure we can find some video. I'm sure we can find.
Somebody find that video.
If I find you, gonna put it on the
Yeah, I'm gonna put it up there.
All right, go on. What you got? Yeah. What y'all got, man? I'm gonna stop then. Because Richard Sherman, Jimmy talked about Richard Sherman being a Stanford grad, and look what he did, Hatter. He lied, Jimmy.
I tried to tell Jimmy. Hold up. I know Jimmy wasn't listening to me. He said, "Man, Hatter just be running his mouth." All I said was just because he's from Stanford, it don't mean he got integrity. Just because he's from Stanford don't mean he just went to Stanford. He was smart enough to go to Stanford. All of those guys ain't like who you think they are. And he lied. And I like the way he played and got out of it. He said, yeah, man. In other words, he really don't like that guy. And a lot of players in the league do not like Baker Mayfield. So that's more. But Jimmy, while we were talking about this subject, and we're going to end it with this because somebody texted me instead of putting it on the screen. Okay? They said we can talk about this HBCU and top athlete stuff all day long. The question is, do you want these things to change? If so, do something about it. If not, shut the hell up. Okay.
So what do they mean? What does that mean?
If you don't do something about it, the people that's talking about it.
For us.
No, he just said the people talking about it.
You feel like the Anthony Westons of the world saying,
Anthony Westons and the Chris Walkers, and who brought it up, and those kind of guys. Yeah.
Hold on, put me in the middle of it. My son going to Kentucky. What you talking about? My son going to Jay Wright, play for Villanova. He going to North Carolina. I understand the script. I'm not gonna get it confused here.
Thank you, Alex Pugh. Somebody just sent it to me. Said White. Listen here, White. This y'all. Let me tell you something about you journalists. No, excuse me, not journalists. Twitter finger people. It's a Twitter finger guy. I call him a Jimmy. What you call these Twitter people who give our news out? That's not certified. An uncertified guy. He said White tight end pushes coach is passion. But if he's not white and he do it, he's an idiot. Like you called Jalen Ramsey the other day. Broadcasting is so stupid these days. And we got a broadcaster on this show right now who said Jalen Ramsey.
Why you coming at my head? Why you coming at me?
I'm not getting, because everybody else been coming at you. Hold on, I got to watch this push. All I got, Troy saying, hey, oh, that little old bitty put, man, that wasn't no, you right, it was a push.
Was he supposed to body slam him? Was he supposed to put him to sleep?
Man,
like
Troy,
Friday Night SmackDown?
Listen to me.
What's he supposed to do, Hatter?
Troy, you know why Troy let him pass? Can I give y'all a secret? Everybody gonna get this one except Anthony Weston. Okay? Jimmy, guess what? Everybody gonna get this one except Anthony Weston. Guess what? Travis Kelce got a nice looking sister.
Oh, stop it. Come on.
Yes, sir. Hey, all I tell you, Google it. I know you're going to do it. Google Travis Kelce girlfriend, and you will see why dude, he gave him a break. Troy said, boy, just because I like your girl, man, I'm going to not peel your head back.
Okay,
so
stop, man.
I'm telling you.
And that's my frat brother, too. That's why I'm a little, That's my frat brother. But he trying to be a head coach. They talking about him getting a job.
There you go.
See, people don't understand. Now, what if Eric went out and tweeted right now, like all you Twitter happy people are, and went out there and tweeted something stupid? He's not going to do that because he wants to be a head coach, guys.
As my mom would have said, the devil is busy. Robert, the devil is busy. Don't succumb to it. He's busy. And guess what? Eric Bieniemy got him a job messing around. He let up. Guess what? Look how they tested it. A black player didn't do it. A white tight end with a pretty black girlfriend did it. Oh, yes. It's on. But Google that, Chris. I want you to take a look at that. Jimmy, what you got, baby? what you got, Jimmy?
I was just looking at something and just checking the Boom Boom Room out, and the comments are definitely off the chain in there. And
Jimmy, hold up. I'm sorry. We got new listeners, Jimmy. They do not understand what the boom boom was. And when somebody mentioned Ray and Claude the other day, they did not understand. So periodically, we are going to share that. But before I share that, Jimmy, I want to give my Women Rock Wednesday starting five from yesterday that I cannot believe I got off the air without talking about Angie Holcomb, Marquessa Carter, Michelle Phillips, Anna Nicole, and Kim Maxie Roy. Those young ladies were the first ladies to come onto the Facebook feed yesterday, and I did not recognize them. I'm sorry. I told Chris Walker that he got the, because Jimmy, I know he did, when Jimmy get excited, he ain't thinking about nothing. So I told Chris Walker to help me with that. Y'all help me with it. Don't let me get off the air without sharing. Your starting five is very important to me. Let's not get off the air without it. But Ray and Claude, I think it was Walter Yates. Jimmy and I was always contentious and arguing with each other. And Walter Yates said, man, y'all sound like Ray and Claude on Life. Okay? So then, in the movie Life, the Boom Boom Room is a fictitious room that Eddie Murphy always talking about he was going to have. So now, if we got Jimmy, I'm Ray, or Claude, which one I forgot. I'm Ray, Jimmy, Claude. We gonna guess who Chris Walker gonna be? Spanky. Rick James, you Spanky. You the one sent us. Hey, you the one sent us on that jersey.
I thought I was Can't Get Right.
No. I want you to be Can't Get Right. No. I want you to be Spanky, because guess what, Jimmy, this is what I got. Jimmy, he brought us to the chop shop. And then sent us on, and he left and went and took that money and Cal.
Man,
so that's why I call you Spank. Huh? Yeah, he went to the Power 5. He said, you Power 2 ain't got it. I'm going to the Power 5. That's what he said. So that's why
What you got, Jimmy? Go to the boom, boom, boom. Jimmy.
Now, I just want to remind you guys, speaking of, we're talking about Power 5 in football, there are 5 games this weekend on tap that will feature top 25 ranked teams in action. 5 different games that will feature in the college football ranks that will feature top 25 teams going head-to-head against each other. Of course, Alabama will play at Texas A&M Saturday at 2:30. That's one game. Hey, don't get into it. A&M has been kind of struggling a little bit, but it's a reason they call upsets. Now, it's not likely to put your money on it, but guess what? That's one. Another one is how about University of Texas and Oklahoma? Right now, the AP poll, OU is number 6 and Texas is number 11. UT has been kind of rolling along, lost the opening game to LSU, but this game, and understand now, the young man from Channelview has been playing remarkably for OU this season. Jalen
Call
Hurts.
that man by his name. Jalen, call that man by his name. Tell me the young man.
Hey, by the way, he cut his hair, but keep going though.
He did cut his hair.
He cut his hair.
And guess what? And guess what? He gonna be right there in the league next year. Keep on talking. Now, what you say, Jim?
They look at him a whole lot different since he cut their hair, but keep going.
And that's an early game on Saturday. That's going to be 11 a.m. 11 a.m. on the Fox network. That's Oklahoma and Texas. How about the 6:30 game, which is probably down south? If you live down in Texas, it's not going to be as tasty, but on the East Coast and up in the Midwest, Iowa will be hosting Penn State.
That's not tasty. That's not tasty for us. You're right. You said it. Yeah, that's not tasty.
Penn State is number 10 and Iowa's number 17. That's a 6:30 tip.
That's not
on
tasty,
ABC Network. And how about this one? LSU is hosting Florida. LSU is number 5. Florida is number 7. Remember, Florida beat Auburn last week. And the Gators, that's a 7 p.m. kickoff on ESPN. And that is on Saturday as well. Now, I mentioned A&M and, of course, Alabama. A&M is ranked in the top 25. They're number 24 in the Associated Press poll. And, of course, Alabama is number 1.
Get the brakes beat off of them. Gonna get the brakes beat off of them.
Which one? Who's going to get the brakes beat off?
Alabama going to beat the brakes off of Texas A&M, man, please.
How many points? How many points you getting?
I think they're going to beat them by 3 touchdowns.
Okay. Don't give him that many. Don't give him that many.
You know what? I take A&M in 21.
Wow.
I'm just saying, man.
Chris, you gonna bet that?
It's a whole dialogue chain. I take A&M in 21.
He put his head down. Put your head up, young man. Get your hey Jimmy, can we? Hey Jimmy.
No, I'm not like y'all. I engage people in the boom boom room. I'm talking to people in the boom boom room.
Okay.
Hey, but speaking of ESPN, Hannah, guess what else? Who else comes on ESPN Saturday? If you're at home, want to watch TV, want to binge on Saturday, guess what? At 6 p.m. on ESPN 3, right? Prairie View at Southern.
Ginsu.
All right, man. That ain't cool, dog.
Anthony Western.
That ain't cool.
Bob, Anthony
That ain't right.
Doug Jones.
I'm not gonna watch a second of it.
They better watch. They talk all that noise. They better watch.
Hey, Jimmy. ESPN 3 is streaming. I can get that anytime. I can stream that anytime.
Okay, internet working.
Now, also on Saturday, I got one of Marie and Kim Corbett. Shout out to Kim Corbett. She sent this to me this morning.
What's she talking?
And I'm going to share this with you guys. And I don't have no theme music to play up under it, but I'm going to check this out. And this is pertaining to this weekend, which is actually starting today. In the city of Houston, Texas, in an area known as Third Ward, once a year, there begins a week where all of the foolery, including ratchetry, is legal. Highly educated professionals from across the globe travel miles to partake in this annual purge known as the Texas Southern University Homecoming. Blessed be our new Board of Regents for letting us purge and cleanse our souls.
Kim.
Blessed be
Who they play?
TSU, a nation reborn.
Who do they
Oh,
play?
Kim.
Let the annual purge begin.
Hold on. Who do they play?
Hey, TSU against Missouri.
Sorry and terrible.
Oh, that's right.
Missouri, sorry and terrible. That's what they play.
Kim,
Missouri, sorry
hold
and
up.
terrible.
In
Hey.
Kim's defense, she's an excellent penmanship. Excellent. Oh my goodness, the sentence structure and everything. But Kim, come on now. So y'all gonna purge? I'm gonna purge right with you.
Hey, they better win. They better win.
I'm telling
Hey.
you right now.
Uh-huh.
Shout out to my boy and happy belated birthday to Troy Pradia of the Cox Pradia Law Firm. His birthday was on yesterday, and he said he's saving it all for this weekend. Troy Pradia has, hey, Alan, we good to go.
Say no more.
We got our own RV. Sitting on the,
No. Hold up. I got a birthday shout out. Since you're going birthday shout out. Happy belated birthday, because his birthday was yesterday, to LJ Cryer. Yeah, my nephew.
my
Happy
God.
birthday, young'un. Yeah.
Hey.
You a hater.
Oh,
Number
my God.
45, Jimmy, 45. 45. No, not 44, 45.
I'm running out of fingers.
Oh, you right? Hey, we just call him 45 now.
Hey, you know what? We can just go and give him a nickname because 45 too many syllables. We're gonna call him Mac.
Well, we don't want him. Hey, we don't want him to have any association with 45 because 45 means something else. If y'all know what I mean.
No, we had 45 for that clown, can't? Well, we go 44. We go 44.
I thought we was talking about Hatter.
What?
I don't know if you brought this up, Hatter.
What?
About the Coach
What?
K thing. Was that Hatter that brought that up? That said we need to talk about that?
I just was wondering why we didn't really cover it as much. Jimmy mentioned it that, in me, because I said, I got to sit back and wait. But when you have a Mount Rushmore type guy like that speak for the Fair Play Act, let me tell you something. Something is going on behind the scenes right now that we have no clue that's going to make this thing happen. And I think the NCAA, and this is my thing, I think the NCAA going to say, okay, courts, all right, let's give a workable model for the NCAA, because that was Miss Skinner, because Chris' name is Chris Skinner. That was Miss Skinner wanted from the beginning. She wanted the NCAA to really seriously, hey man, let's change these rules. So, but when Coach K spoke on it, when I saw that, and guess where he spoke on it at, Chris? And guess what? Some of the reporters were there. They thought he was going to tap dance around it because the ACC had their annual, media day. Media day. And they said he brought him in and sat down and went at it. They said Mark Few now, we got to pray for Mark Few, because Mark Few was still talking about we need to let us do this stuff ourselves. And he came around toward the end of the day. Yeah, that's Mark Few. Gonzaga, okay? Washington, Red State. But that's big, Jimmy. That's the biggest key. That's the biggest I think brick that fell, in my opinion, because I know these people in the NCAA and the presidents, they listen to Coach K.
I'm not shocked by Jimmy. Who will you tell everybody? We can give a little teaser who our guest is on Monday, and then that'll kind of bring some light to this situation because he did this. He had a special on, I want to say HBO, and he's huge. And have him come on the Chop Shop. I guarantee you, we're gonna have some national eyeballs on the Chop Shop on Monday.
Yes, and that's Ramogi Huma, and Ramogi Huma is the guy who drafted the proposal and took it to the Senator Skinner to propose this into law for a vote. So he's the guy who initiated this whole California Fair Pay to Play Act. It wasn't, now understand, it wasn't titled that. and we'll find out how it ended up getting that title and getting that description. That's basically the description that somebody applied to it, and it had legs, and everybody ran with it. So he's going to join the Chop Shop on Monday, I think 1:15 Central Time. So you want to make sure you set your alarms to join the conversation, because this is going to be powerful, and a lot of people in Texas, we're going to make sure that a lot of our legislatures in Texas are watching, so they can maybe get a tip or two to go and move forward with this thing. Understand, we got a long way to go in Texas. You understand that? But guess what? Every single day. Hey, I'm on this baby Friday. I can say like,
but I got something for you. Hey, Chris and Jimmy, I got something, but it's directed at Chris, and I think it's a good question. I'm gonna put it on the screen. He said, Chris, as a coach, how would you manage this? Think about it. The kid sitting next to the kid who makes $40K for his likeness and average 15 points, but the guy next to him making 0 and averaging 11 points and 8 rebounds or 8 assists. There will be some animosity, ball hogging, etc. What do you think about, how do you manage that, Chris, right there? How you manage that?
Guys, first of all, that's already happening right now. I mean, that 40,000 may be a number that's kind of skyrocketed to a degree, but that's already happening, guys. If you think it's not happening,
but it's not known. But it's known.
Well, it's just like
every player knows.
It's the point that you made about marijuana. Now that marijuana is legal, it's not that big of a deal. What we got to do is we got to legalize these people getting paid instead of them doing it in the shadows. It's already happening. And at the end of the day, you still got to win games, guys. I don't care what you're paying these people. You still got to win games. It's still going to come down to winning.
Chris, watch it, Chris. Now what these people are being paid, not what you paying, because the colleges, they had made the rule for college to pay. It's what they were getting paid. But you just I was just helping you out.
Yeah, no, and I hear what Bob is saying. Like, here's my thing, guys. These kids have a specific talent. And what bothers me is, and I'm not saying Bob is saying this, but all we talk about is how we can't do it. That's all we talk about. All we talk about is what we can't do. No one's talking about whether it's right or whether we should do it. And so that's my thing, is about, guys, I'm about, hey, if a person has a talent, they should be paid for their talent. Plain and simple.
Okay.
And
I agree.
The coaches get paid what they get paid. You can argue it all day long. What happens on Saturday is different than what happens on Sunday. The problem is they both making a whole lot of money. So what we've done is we've put a rule in place called amateurism, where we don't have to pay the workers, right?
That's a great business. That's a great business.
That's a great business. I would love to be in that business.
I know.
That's why all of a sudden.
Wait a minute, excuse me. You were in that business.
No, I wasn't on the receiving end like some of these other guys.
Don't matter.
Hey, you better stop putting me out there, because I'm gonna start getting on you. But here's the deal, though, right? Here's the deal, Jimmy. Jimmy, I'll say this, guys, is that every time the NCAA gets pressed, guess what they do? They change the rules every time, fellas. Every time they get pressed, cost of attendance. Well, hold on. There's been cost of attendance forever. So you guys wasn't paying that money? So where was that money going? Right? So every time you jump on the NCAA, they always back up. They back up more. Well, we got to do better. Well, we got to do this. And Coach K say, guess what? The rules have not caught up with the time. So what does that mean? That means that they've been stacking money in them coffers, Hatter. Stacking money in them coffers. And now kids like, they've been stacking it. Now it's time to pay up. So the people that want to be like, it'll change the integrity of the sport. Trust me, those dudes still gonna go out there and play. What y'all don't know is it's been happening already. Those dudes still trying to get to the NFL, no matter if they're paying them for their likeness or not. They still not getting to the real money, Hatter. The real money is at the next level. The real money ain't them pennies that they getting to play at those colleges. But you can't tell me playing in Tuscaloosa in front of 100,000 people isn't worthy of somebody making a couple of dollars. Chi-Chi, does that sound crazy? You playing in front of 100,000 people 6 games a year, that's not worth. I'd love for somebody to come on here and tell me what Ohio State or Penn State or the Big House of Michigan, what they make at one football game on that weekend. What do they make? And then I want to know what they make at Jerry World at a football weekend. And then tell me,
Hey, Chris.
they should get paid.
Chris, we got a commercial right quick. Everybody look at the screen. Everybody look at the screen. That was Jimmy Hicks striking out. Now you can get back to talking. Let me give it to you one more time, y'all. Yeah, I got him. He gonna be mad at me. Yeah, I'm not gonna show him the good one. Nope. It went down low right.
Show him the very next pitch.
You got
Jimmy, that's fine.
Jimmy, that's been replaying in my head since we were 6 years old.
Hey, you know I was a sucker for the high ball. I was a sucker for the high ball. But boy, you put it right there. Show the very next pitch.
I got to find it, Jimmy.
I know that's when I was 16 years old, man.
My bad, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Chris. I didn't mean to. I just found that. I had to put that up there, man. Oh, my God. I'm sorry. Because he talk all that. Boy, hey, he got a nice little swing. But he missed that one right there. But I ain't going to lie, y'all. He took the next one out the park. And I got to find it. And I'm going to bring it to you. I ain't going to do him like that.
Oh, you can't find that one. You can't find that one. And Mark Kessler, Carter Charles. What you laughing at?
Hey, y'all.
Hey, so now, of course, now we're speaking on the back nine. Of course, coming up shortly, guys, we're going to engage in our NFL picks shortly. But meanwhile, I want to remind you that if you're just tuning in, NBA action.
Let's talk about some NBA.
We got some of the results from last night. Washington 137 over to 96. They won. Miami over Charlotte 108-94. Orlando beats Atlanta 97-88. Milwaukee 133. Utah 99. Wow. New Orleans 127. Chicago 125. These were all preseason.
Wait. You didn't say nothing about the Rockets. Wait. You left the Rockets out.
The Rockets won.
Yeah, and the Rockets. The Rockets won.
How you gonna leave my boys out, man? They was over in Japan playing. But Jimmy,
I just said, what's the Rockets score? If you're gonna
give it I'm sorry.
100. Give me the solution.
100.
So that's the thing.
118-111. They beat the
Rockets score.
Okay.
Once again, preseason action, which just giving it to you and filling the gap. Now, meanwhile,
Jimmy, hold up. I got a little bit for you. Before we get off. Zion Williamson, y'all, dropped 29 points and only missed one shot last night. I think that we got to talk about that. He's a rookie.
They all were in the paint.
Yeah.
12 for 13. He was 12 for 13.
They were all in the paint now. Understand? He didn't take any jump shots last night.
Okay, but he had 4 rebounds and 4 assists and 1 steal.
I'm just letting you know. I'm letting the people know so they understand. People were laughing at that. So bottom line, but guess what? They're running stuff in their offense for Zion, and they're catching him moving without the ball. And he's doing a lot of moving without the ball, and that's enabling him to get to spots, whereas to catch it. Because in the NBA, the ISO game, he's going to have to adapt to that. And because a lot of people are going to force him to be able to beat them with his jump shots and beat them with his fundamentals. Right now, hey, Zion, he's living up to the hype, but it's preseason. And October the 22nd.
That's all we can go by.
That's all we can go by right now. But October 22nd, the thing is, what do you expect from the New Orleans Pelicans? That's the thing. What do you expect? Do you expect what Trae Young did for Atlanta? Do you expect just a good season, not make the postseason? Understand, they are young, but as I tell people all the time, everybody young when they get their ass whooped. They got enough players to compete for the 8th spot. They got enough experience in the league to compete for the 8th spot. Woo! So we're not saying this is not the same situation with Atlanta of last year. This is not the same situation with the Dallas Mavericks of last year. this guy. So what do you expect, Chris? What do you expect?
Yeah. That's a good one.
I don't know. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs, but I mean they'll be competitive. But at the end of the day, man, it's the reason why the Lakers shipped those other boys off. I mean, they were good players. I like Lonzo Ball, but he hadn't proven anything. I like Brandon Ingram. You know, he scored some points. Zion's unproven. But again, about an 82-game NBA grind, fellas. And we're talking about the West is as tough as we've ever seen it. So everybody getting caught up in Zion and Jordan and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, those dog day nights when you got to play those games back to back, and when you start looking at their record, they 13-32 and all that, it's gonna be tough, man. It's not that's college. That stuff was at Duke, man. This grown man stuff we talking about now, Heather. This grown man stuff. And I don't know if he's that transcendent athlete that LeBron is. I know
Fans,
we
here we
starving
go.
for
Coming
the next
at you.
LeBron like we were starving for the next
Oh.
Jordan. But I mean, at the end of the day, guess what they gonna make him do? They gonna make him do what Ben Simmons finally did after being in the NBA all these years: make a 3-point shot. I can't believe people are celebrating that. Am I wrong for chopping? Like, dudes on the bench was actually celebrating a professional player, right? A lottery pick who plays guard.
No.
Making a
An all-star.
Oh my God! I mean, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about?
I mean, it's preseason though. A lot of stuff in preseason is normally off limits or normally, people that's taboo. But right now with him, they just having a little fun. And the thing is, all eyes will be on Simmons, but more so on the Pelicans this year because Zion, they've already penciled him in. Understand? Remember last year? That's the whole thing. I tell people to keep the same energy. A year ago, when they had already penciled in, right, or Doncic for Rookie of the Year. Well, guess what? Now Zion is getting the same favor. He's already, other kids don't even have a chance, it seemed like. They went to do twice as much. But it was okay. It wasn't okay a year ago because Trae Young didn't get a fair, many felt he didn't get a fair shot at because it already anointed the other young man from Dallas. Well, we'll see right now this year. My thing is, with Zion, the hype has never been as extreme since Anthony Davis, LeBron James.
But he ain't at Duke though. See what they dudes do, and again, what these kids do, they partner up, kind of like everybody accuses LeBron. They go to Kentucky. You can't beat 6 5-stars, right? They don't get to the Final Four, but they're gonna win the lion's share of the game. They go to Duke, they all pair up. Guess what you can't do in the NBA when you're a rookie? You can't choose your team and pair up. Now we about to see what some of these dudes are made out of and getting that head torn up every night. You ain't at Duke when you're in the NBA. We about to see what this dude's made out of. Real talk.
Yeah, so it's the bottom of the hour, and of course, it's almost that time for our picks. But I want to give a shout out and remind you guys on this weekend in the Houston area, high school football is resuming, and there are a couple of players that's 2 sports stars. I was looking over the weekend yesterday at a list of 2 sport stars. When I say 2 sport, I mean basketball, football. That's what we, down in Texas, we call about 2 sport. We're not talking about baseball and football or track and football. We're talking about basketball and football. That's when we coined that phrase. And I was coming up with a list, right, of like the top 10 football, basketball stars in both sports in Greater Houston high school history. And I got some of the names I'm gonna throw at you, Chris. A lot of these guys went to school with you. Remember, they played, these guys that starred in basketball, starred in football, right? But football was eventually their bread, their pursuit. Eddie Combo, Wheatley High School.
Bad dude.
In 2 sports.
Bad dude.
Eddie Combo was the Ronald Curry of Texas. I know he was in Memphis then, but Eddie Combo, if you ever see him, he was that bad. You know why? He was about 6'4", 6'3", something like that, 6'4". Mr. Basketball and football and Mr. Football in this sport as well. Vincent Young, Madison High School.
Mm.
VY didn't take basketball as serious as a lot of people may have wanted him to. His uncle was his basketball coach but VY was very good in basketball, guy. He was people that saw him back in that year when he came out.
Could have gotten a scholarship though, because Eddie Combo was a true scholarship player in both.
Vincent Young could have gotten easily. People knew that he was football easily. Division I, mid-level recruit in basketball easily. How about Ricky Seals Jones, who's right now playing in the NFL right now?
He with the
Cleveland Browns.
He was the Browns, right, Hatter? Ricky Seals Jones.
Yes, he was.
Told their butt up. Yeah.
Ricky Seals Jones. Now he's from Sealy High School. The potency of his opponents wasn't, you have to give a bell curve to that. But this dude averaged 30 points a game in high school. He averaged 30 and like 11, 30 and 12 in basketball. And you see right now he's making bread in football after playing at A&M. Johnny Bailey back in Madison at Yates High School.
I played against him. Yeah.
Johnny Bailey was pretty good. How about Martellus Bennett? Martellus Bennett in
really
basketball? Good. Put it like this. That was a team. And I got to find out from when I talked to Hal, did you ever find out which team it was? That was one NBA team. That
Spurs.
That's what it was?
No.
It was Spurs, right, Hatter?
He went to, it might have went to Spurs, but I remember him going to Denver too, though.
He declared for the NBA draft out of high school. He declared for the draft. So that means it was one team that had him believing that they were going to pick him. Whenever you do something like that, he was serious. He actually declared for the draft, and it wasn't a joke. He thought he was going to be able. He went to the workouts and all the stuff, and then kind of settled down. And then he played basketball at A&M. And I think Billy Clyde
Gillespie. Yeah, Billy Clyde Gillespie.
I think he was a coach then. How about Mike Evans from Galveston Ball?
He would have played Division I. Yep.
Mike Evans could have easily played mid-level Division I basketball, but you see what he did? He picked the right thing. Carl Crawford. Carl Crawford wasn't just bad in football. It wasn't just bad in basketball. You see what he did? He ended up making millions upon millions of dollars playing baseball. Carl Crawford had a high-level Power 5 scholarship. I think it was Nebraska that he was going to go to, and then decided I'm going to go in the draft and play baseball. And Odell James from MacArthur High School. How many of you guys remember Odell James?
He played in the 30s. I don't remember him.
Hartley Dykes.
Oh, yeah. Oklahoma State.
In football. Could he have played mid-level basketball? Yeah.
Who was his teammate? Somebody put on the feed.
LeBradford Smith.
Yeah.
His teammate.
I played with him, yep.
Yeah, you had other guys like Mercury Haynes, Eric, went to Booker T. Washington, Eric Gray from Aldine, Alfred Grigsby from Yates. And guess what? In the high school level, we can even throw Derek Griffin in there. Derek Griffin was just that good. And could have been that great. Remember, good ain't great. But anyway, guys, guess what time it is? It's time for me to open up a fresh can of whoopers.
Oh, stop. Julio, you doing Hatter, right?
My NFL picks for the weekend. Hey, where you at, Martin Brooks?
Hey, Jimmy.
Oh, that's your guy.
Jimmy, right before you go there, let me give you a starting five today, because I know we're going to go past Lionel Gard, Trey Phillips, Laurie Dotson, Derek Johnson, and Slick Rick Wilmore. Got y'all.
Hey, Rick Wilmore was on the feed. But hey, before y'all do y'all picks, and Jimmy cheat like he always cheat with the perks, as he call them.
The perks.
Hatter, what do you think? What do you think about Rihanna saying, "I don't want to sing at the Super Bowl"? What you think about that, Hatter? I don't want to sing at the Super Bowl. I support Kaepernick.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I mean, and guess who? And hold on. Guess who? Her management company is Roc Nation.
That's why I said something. I thought Jay-Z took over the entertainment for the NFL.
Yeah, but she just said, I'm not doing it, boss. You understand me? And she just said she wasn't doing it. And I applaud her for it. That's the way she feel, and that's the way it is.
Jimmy,
It's okay.
Yeah,
But
go
Jim,
on.
now where we going? I got to write.
Man.
I got to write this thing
Rihanna
down.
made that statement, of course, and that's coming. That interview coming. I think one of the magazines she did an interview for, and she's saying that would not have benefited her people doing that. And so we'll dive in more on that on Monday because that article in its entirety will have came out. I think it's coming out this weekend, so we'll be able to get and catch the whole scope of it. But here we go, guys. I'm 3-0. Hatter is 0-2. Chris is 1-2.
Cheater.
So Chris, you guys know who Chris is rooting for this week. Chris wants Hatter to get a win. So Hatter, that way they make him closer. Because otherwise I'm be running away on my undefeated quest. Starting out tonight, of course, it goes winner gets to pick first. Oh, guess what, Hatter? I'll let you go first. You need all the help you can get. Tonight's game. New York Giants at the New England Patriots. New England is giving up 17 points. Do you give it or take it? I'll let you go first.
New England, and you, I got New England.
So you're giving me 17.
Yeah, I'm giving you 17. You need some more? Okay.
Gonna beat the brakes off of him. That boy ain't done nothing since they won that lucky game at Tampa Bay. Come
All
on,
right.
man.
Come on, Jimbo.
Next up is Carolina at Tampa Bay. Versus Tampa Bay. That game will be played in Lufkin. I'm sorry, in London.
Where? London. Lufkin. What the heck?
Lufkin. And that Carolina is favored by 2. Oh, I'm gonna take Carolina and give it 2.
Okay. You're following Martin Brooks' little old thing. So Jimmy got Carolina.
I told you.
Cheat sheet. That's why it's named the cheat sheet.
I'm not going with crab leg.
Okay. So New England, I got New England and minus what? I want to get it straight.
17.
Minus 17. And you got Carolina plus 2?
Yeah.
That's what the line is, plus 2?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go. All right, what's the next game?
Houston at Kansas City. Kansas City is favored by 5 points.
I can't go against my homeboy. I've been looped. I'm going with my home.
So wait a minute. Wait a minute. What's the wide receiver name for the Texans? That's in the Texans.
Andre Johnson. Andre Johnson.
Circle of Honor.
That's my man.
What's the wide receiver name who played for the Miami Hurricanes?
That's my dude.
They got one of those at the Texans. They ain't never won anything. I didn't know they had that, but keep going though.
Yeah.
And supposed to be your homeboy. You just said I'm not going against my homeboy.
Yeah.
So you want to get
my homeboy is Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes boy. Pat Mahomes is my boy now.
He was terrible last game.
That's all right. So Houston 5 points.
I got 5 points in Houston.
Okay, I got minus 5. Okay.
Okay, next up is Philadelphia at Minnesota.
Okay.
Woo!
What you got?
Minnesota's giving up at home.
Who you got?
I'm going to take Minnesota.
Boy, you following everything that Martin Brooks put on there. I
got Minnesota for my fantasy team.
I'm not looking at no Martin Brooks pick.
So I got who?
You got Philadelphia, and you got 3 points.
So, okay, Philly, dilly. Okay, I'll take Philly. So Jimmy got Minnesota. Okay, all right. That's how I'm going to put it. Okay, all right. Do your thing, man.
Next up, New Orleans at Jacksonville.
Man, Teddy Bridge over not so troubled water. He 3-0 or 4-0? He 3-0, right?
Jacksonville is favored by 1.
It's my turn?
Yeah.
I'm going, who that talk about beating them? I'm going with the Who That Nation. Who that, baby?
I'm beating the brakes out of Hatter, man. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like taking candy from baby.
So you get
Washington-
you get 1 point. You got a point.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got
Okay.
1 point. No.
I got-
no.
What?
Jacksonville is giving New Orleans 1 point.
Oh, I got a point, and I'm taking. Okay, I take my point. I take my point.
Yeah. Washington at Miami.
Okay.
Oh my God, that's the Bayou bucket right there. If I ever
Okay.
seen it.
What you
Washington
got?
at Miami. Both of them teams is horrible, man. Both of them teams are awful. Washington is favored by 3.5. I'm gonna tell you what. Washington got a new coach.
Nah, it ain't gonna happen, man.
I'm gonna go with Miami, and I'm gonna get. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take the 3.5 with Miami. I'm gonna give you Washington.
I got Washington. Okay. And I got the 3.5. Oh, you taking the 3.5? I got it. You get?
I got 3.5.
Okay. And I'm taking Jacksonville, right? Okay. All right.
You got Washington.
Somebody
I
said
mean, I got
Adrian Peterson.
I got
100 yards.
Washington. Okay.
If
Okay.
Adrian Peterson go over 100 yards, I'm not coming on the chop shop on Monday. Somebody lost their mind, Martin Brooks.
Shit,
All right,
he
come
gonna
on.
get 100 yards.
Come on, man.
Man,
What we got?
It's Cincinnati at B-More. Cincinnati at B-More. Baltimore is giving up 11.5.
I'm going with Baltimore.
You gonna give me 11.5? I'll take
Yeah, I'm gonna give you 11.
11.5. Next up, Seattle at Cleveland.
Mm.
Seattle's giving Cleveland 1.5 perms. Woo, man. You know I'm going. Man, Cleveland is in a real funky space right now.
What
They
you gonna
almost
do,
got-
man?
They can't win, man. They pretenders.
Got to win.
What you gonna
They-
do? I'll see
I'm
y'all
going
out
with
there,
the black-
Atlanta,
I'm going
bro.
with the black quarterback on this one, boss. I'm going with the black
Man, I don't
quarterback
want
on
no Baker
Oh,
Mayfield,
my
man.
God.
Don't ever
There
give
you
me
go
no
with
Baker
that.
Mayfield.
I'm gonna give you Ty Bridges.
Ty Bridges don't play for them. Baker
That's
Mayfield.
right. That's his homeboy. Chris homeboy.
Who?
Beckham. Odell Beckham.
Oh,
that's
that's
my
Ty
dude.
Bridges. Okay. So Jimmy got Seattle, right?
Thank you, Derrick Johnson. Thank you, Line of God. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all, Pope Honey on me and help the back. That's what I'm talking about.
What they talking about?
Okay, what's the
Nonsense?
next?
They helping me out. San Francisco at the Rams. The Rams are favored by 3. San Francisco undefeated.
San
Smoke
Francisco
screen.
and the Rams. Rams are favorite. It's me, right?
Yeah.
I'm going with my Rams, man.
You gonna give me 3 points and an undefeated?
I'm
I take
gonna give you 3 points.
Y'all see what he doing? Y'all see that, right?
I don't care.
How about this? Atlanta at Arizona. Atlanta is 1-4. Arizona is 1-3-1. Dirty Birds. You know what? Atlanta is giving up 2.5. I'm gonna take Arizona. I'm taking Kyler Murray. Won his first game last week, and then now they're at home, and they got the nerve, the money, got the nerve to be laid on the Dirty Birds by 2.5. No, I'm taking that 2.5. Give it. How do you got Atlanta?
Jimmy got Arizona.
Arizona.
Line of God. We got split. If you told me to take Atlanta, Derrick Johnson say Arizona. I'm going with Arizona, man.
Man, I'm not listening. I'm not listening to him. You think I'm listening to him? I'm not listening to him. What's the next game?
Tennessee at Denver. Denver is favored by 2.5.
You better not choose Denver, Hatter.
Denver's favorite? Okay. I'm gonna choose. Okay, say it again now. Denver and let me see. I don't like
Denver.
Tennessee.
Denver. Tennessee at Denver.
So
Denver is
Denver
by
if giving
2.5.
Tennessee, Denver's giving Tennessee 2.5 points.
Yeah.
That's not enough. I'm going with Denver.
So you don't even root for your own state.
Hey,
man.
my
you gonna
state.
go against-
Dude, I'm international. How the hell is that my state? I got houses everywhere. You understand me?
Oh my God.
We got
Jimmy,
the
I don't need no hotel.
Cowgirls of Dallas
Oh, I'm gonna be at that one, baby.
are at the New York Jets.
The New York, we're gonna beat the snot out the Jets.
How about the Jets are 0-4 right now,
They're gonna be 0-5, player.
and the Cowboys are giving up 7 points. I'm gonna take the
That's all.
Cowboys.
Sam Donald, they got Sam Donald playing this game. This is gonna be his first game back, and we gonna send him back.
I'm gonna take the Cowboys. I'm gonna give Haller the Jets and 7.
Okay. All right. Hey, accident waiting to happen. Let's go.
Pittsburgh at the Chargers, Adam. The Steelers. That's a 7:30 game on Sunday evening. The Pittsburgh at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are favored by 7. What do you do?
They at the Chargers,
Yeah,
and the Chargers giving them 7.
the Chargers giving them 7.
I'm going with Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh is 1-4 on the season.
Okay. I'm going with Pitts. I'm going with Piss, not Pitt. Pitts. Pittsburgh.
Okay, let me write that down. I got him, y'all. I know y'all. I got him, y'all. Again, it's so easy, man. It's like riding a bike with no hands.
Oh, stop it.
Keep on going.
Like riding a bike with no hands.
That was the last game.
That was it?
That's it. Last game, Monday Night Football. We wait on that to determine on Monday. The stuff didn't happen.
Okay.
I mean, y'all see what just happened to Errol Spence, man?
No,
Yeah.
Crashed a Ferrari, pink Ferrari too.
No, it's not pink, Chris. It's just white.
What color is that?
It's white.
No, I'm looking at the color right now.
No, it's white, man. I'm telling you, the color, the hue of it, the camera was messed up. You got it. It was white. Yeah, it's white.
Okay.
He from Dallas, right? He from the Dallas area, and he was just talking about how he want to just take care of his kids and send his kids. Come on, Chris, and take care of his kids and all that kind of stuff, and send them to private school. And he driving fast. Them cars are very, very, very powerful. And that's one of
was not wearing his seatbelt.
Was not wearing a seatbelt. That car, y'all, I'm telling you, you're inside of it. It's powerful. It's not built for regular drivers. That's a race car. It's not built for. It's built for people who can afford it. But you can't go that fast anymore. Hit a medium, flipped over 2 or 3 times, threw him out the car. So.
Oh my God. Well, what they say? What's going on? Is he all right or is he dead?
He in ICU. He's in ICU. In ICU. ICU. He just had a fight. He just had a fight.
Yeah.
He just had his fight. So he just had a payday. So, that Ferrari, man, yeah. That's and that was I think that was a 488. The way the body style looked is super fast. 488 horsepower. Yeah, super fast. But what did you see that?
Of course, on this weekend, I want to give a shout out to a couple of the young men on the football field. We spoke of 2 sports stars a while ago, and give a shout out to a young man named Ronald Holmes. We had Ronald Holmes. He was ranked this summer as one of the top 10 11th graders in Greater Houston by RCSSports.com. Ronald Holmes has been a star quarterback at Northside High School, which used to be known as Jeff Davis, which was the home of which produced Carl Crawford. And he's been a star quarterback since 9th grade. He's in 11th grade right now, and he's leading all of the quarterbacks in the 5A classification, which check out this right here. The thing that fascinates me about Ronald Holmes, he's about 6'4", so he has the size of a quarterback, right? I mean, at the next level and the level after that. But he plays during the summer. He didn't play 7-on-7. He played grassroots basketball most of the summer. And Ronald Holmes has 1,525 yards passing this season already. Also, he's the 5th on the list in rushing yards from scrimmage. In all of the area's 5A schools, he has 714 yards rushing. That means this young man has over 2,000 yards from scrimmage in midway through the high school season. It's barely October, right? So, well, of course, it's midway through it because high school season in football ends. They go to the playoffs around the second week in November. Also, how about Kyron Drones over at Shadow Creek High School?
Bad man.
Kyron Drones. He's about 6'4" as well.
Bad
He plays
man.
basketball. He's a star. He's one of the starters on the basketball team, but he's a star quarterback. Started last year at Shadow Creek. Remember, Shadow Creek went to state last year, guys. They went to the state championship game of the 5A classification. Kyron Drones, right now, he's passed for over 1,000 yards this season. If you hadn't seen Shadow Creek play, get out and check and support that young man as well. Also,
Jimmy, throw that ball like Warren. He throw that ball like Warren Moon.
He throw it like Warren Moon.
That's a great ball.
And also,
beautiful ball.
if you're going to see Shadow Creek, they got a receiver, Seth Jones, who's tearing it up as well. He's a basketball player as well. And all speaking of high school football, I want to give a shout out to Dylan Campbell over at Strake Jesuit. He's second in the area in the 6A classification in rushing. He's at Strake Jesuit. His father, Donovan Campbell, played baseball with me over at Tech Study University back in the mid 80s. And Donovan Campbell, they called him DC. It's his nickname, DC. His son, Dylan Campbell, is cutting it up over at Strake Jesuit. And last but not least, I want to give a shout out to a young man over in Fifth Ward who is heating it up on the football field as we're in the 4A classification. In the 4A. And this young man, Tim Tillman, he's about 6'2", right? Weigh about 190. A good size. Last week, 495 yards passing just in one game last week. 6 touchdowns just last week in a big win over Worthing. He tore up.
Worthing got. Good Lord.
Yeah. Tim Tillman. I mean, so shout out to Tim Tillman. And of course, in his home, I know his father is an avid Chop Shop watcher, probably watching right now. Michael Brown. Shout out to Michael Brown, and for raising this young man. He's only in 11th grade. 495 yards passed. Remember, every one of the players that I've mentioned to you are 11th graders, except for Dylan Campbell, the running back at Strake Jesuit. Everybody else is in 11th grade. So these guys will be talking about next year, 2 sports stars, and that's what kind of as an afterthought of the conversation of how many 2 sports stars that eventually make the smart decision and go basketball from out of Greater Houston. We produce them, and that's a hint. Because Chris, you was watching some players at the camp at early this summer, and that was a kid about 6'4", had a big body. First thing you said, well, that kid need to go put a helmet on. He get held the basketball court. There are opportunities in abundance for guys that are about 6'4", 6'5", and taller that are playing basketball. If your recruitment is not going grand, you might need to get your ass out there and get a helmet on.
Yo, go put that helmet on.
Hey, and Chris.
Hey, we can't forget this, Hatter. The WNBA tonight, the championship, the WNBA.
That's right.
It's tonight.
This is the last game. The last game.
They going at it, too.
Yes, sir.
Going at it, boy. I'm watching that.
Is Della Dunn, is her back all right?
I don't know, but they're going to need her tonight.
Jimmy, I got something else I saw this morning.
Troy Benjamin, you see what he said? Shout out to Katie Tompkins, quarterback. He's committed to the University of Texas. Jalen Milroe. Shout out to that young man as well. Remember,
thank you.
They put up 30 points against Katy last week, 35-30 loss. And that's the star quarterback. He's a brother, young brother, I mean. And Martin Brooks. Hey, guys, if you guys are going to be up in the morning, go and support Martin Brooks. And some of y'all let me know how he fares with that little league team and that BAFL. That's the league that is known for playing old kids.
Old kids. They got hat out there with a helmet.
What league? Wait a minute. Talk about
the BAFL, the Bay Area Football League. That's the same league.
That's the same league.
Yeah, the same league. And Martin Brooks coached the South Houston Trojans. They would take on the Magnolia Park Sharks.
You mean on Saturday? On Saturday morning.
9:30 in the morning at Magnolia Park in Denver Harbor. I mean, in Magnolia. Guess who used to play for the Magnolia Sharks, Hatter?
Who? Jesse Jones.
Isaiah. My stepson used to start with the Magnolia Sharks back in the day before I went and said,
hold on, I got something else for y'all.
I'm going to take your ass over there to the hood and let you play with the Studewood Cobras where they went and won the Super Bowl. That's what I did to Mac out there. That's what we did.
Hold up, I got something for y'all. This just in. Houston has sold out season tickets for the 2019-2020 basketball season per release. Kevin Sampson factor is real, and the Cougars are sold out season tickets, Jimmy. Unbelievable.
Really?
If you build it, they will come.
He definitely built it.
He built it, and they came. Shout out to U of H right now. Sold out. See, this year, sold out. Wow.
Hey, speaking of
who'd have thunk it?
Shout out to U of H, man. The Cougars, hey, man. Hey, Cougars is back, and all we waiting on, we can hope that Quentin Grimes is granted a waiver so that he can join the team, and it's going to be showtime over at the Fertitta Center. And also, give a shout out to Philly and Toronto. Kyle Lowry signed a 1-year extension with the Toronto Raptors for $32 million for 1 year. Reports are that if they did not lock him in right now, he would have been, of course, a free agent next year, and he would have demanded a trade before the end of this season.
Before we get off, somebody send me a quote, Jimmy. Boy, this gonna be controversial. But we'll talk about it on Monday. Chris, this your homework. Somebody said the fact that there are people who will pay a black man to rap or to play a sport, but won't as readily pay a black man to be a science or a math or a business instructor in those universities, basically shows you that the world has no respect for black people. Even worse is that black people celebrate that SHIT.
Ooh, why won't they? Who is that? They did write that on the Chop Shop feed.
I can't.
Don't have them Twitter fingers. That's the same thing you accuse everybody of, Hatter. They scared to put it out there.
They sent it to me. I believe you me. I'm gonna put it up there on Monday. You think about it now. They'll pay you to rap and to sing, but go over to let's go to Alabama's business department and math and science department and see how many instructors or tenured professors are over there. So got something we could talk about on Monday. Wow, I didn't mean to hit y'all with that. They just sent it to me. My bad.
All right. I feel you on that.
Say, guys, guess
Jimmy,
what, man?
I'm finna hit that song, Jimmy.
Yes, right.
It's time
Jim
to
Hicks.
do this thing and slide down Bino's back.
Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it.
You got to share this.
We in the Chop Shop.
And that's very important because of our reach on our digital platform. Share the show. Don't be stingy. Share it to your story. Say, go to play. If you're on Facebook watching, if you're on YouTube, you still like our page, follow us. And we're going to have some goodies out there for you guys next week. For those who go and like our YouTube, we'll let you guys share it coming up. The tickets, free opportunity passes, for a lot of other stuff that we have coming up next week. Only gonna get better on the Chop Shop as each day goes by. But we need your support in regards to sharing the show and spreading the word about your midday sports happy hour. The best 120 minutes of your day, the Chop Shop. Without further ado,
Jimmy, to all the people who don't have your friends who don't have Facebook, soon as this show is over, we upload it straight on YouTube right now. So about 10 minutes after the show is over, it'll be uploaded on YouTube. I just want you to let everybody know that. Okay? All right.
Yes. Hey,
You ready?
free
Shout out to
Anthony
Jim
Wilson.
Hicks. Free Rob Allen. You can catch the chop shop live from
Had
cover
to
two.
had to block him. That's what it is.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
What happened, Anthony Wilson? We
I
were
just
not
saw
blocked
it.
on the chop shop, brother. That's what he said. You
Well,
must
you
have
kinda-
first Lil Rick, now Anthony Weston. Guess what? Maybe the Power 5 schools. Alabama may have blocked Anthony Weston, guys. Anyway, that's all we got on behalf of the hater, the hatter, and of course the hat. You see, guys, guess what? Riley had on. You see it, World Series, the Astros. I'm matching. I got my. Well, I can't wait. I'm going downtown to check these stores out. I'm going there early. I'm sipping today, baby. My Get Loose juice is gonna be.
Make sure you have this scripture for him right here, brother.
Guess what?
They gonna need it. They gonna need it.
Tampa Bay gonna need all that and more. Guess what? We about it, guys. Shadow Show. Chop, chop.